Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of the podcast for your mental health, the State of Mind podcast.
So today we'll be talking about the contrast in the environment between Singapore and China's education system when it comes to mental health issues. So of course a lot of people here already will be like, what's the point of this? Why should I care, right? This is all about Singapore education system and everything. But what if there are, we were just thinking, what if there were some people who were thinking that all these issues were just a very common issue, internationally among students? So we're trying to dissect the differences between the two systems to just kind of give everyone a better idea of hey, this isn't something that's just here and we can relate to other places as well. Or even maybe hey, maybe you should try to have our education system move towards a less stressful environment or something along those lines. So without further ado, let us welcome our dear guest, Amanda. Wow.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Do you want to say a little bit more than that?
Not really.
Alright, I'll do the saying a little bit more for her. So this is Amanda. She is currently studying at what level do you call yours?
IB.
Level, grade or?
Oh, years. Year 13.
Yeah, that in IB. Okay. So a little bit of context is that she has studied in both Singaporean and China's systems before. But don't give her too much credit also because she's only been in Singapore's education system for a little more than a month. So yeah, but we just invited her on because she's really the only person that can really answer these questions. So yes, she has okay. So the time where she was actually under Singapore's education system was in our secondary 2 level. So as much as possible, I hope that you'll be able to give us context from that time. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to be specific, I also grew up in a Singaporean kindergarten. So.
I thought it was primary school.
No, I didn't go to primary school.
Oh. Okay. So to begin, right, I wanted to ask, when you came over to when you were told that you were gonna come over to Singapore for a while, were you having any kind of restrictions or reservations going on in your mind?
Anyone would get nervous in a new environment, right? I left Singapore 11 years ago. I don't know anybody in school, and I had to take an exam to get into DHS, right? And then I grew up in an international school, and then there's the stereotype where in Asian local high schools, everyone is mad smart, you know? So you go into the school thinking that is my IQ gonna be several hundred points from them. That was my biggest concern at that point. And also making friends really isn't that big of an issue because international schools were quite social. But I think the main issue is that I couldn't keep up on schoolwork. That was my biggest fear. My number one biggest fear.
Right. So about your schoolwork, do you want to talk more about that? What do you mean by too much? What's the contrast between here and there?
I don't want to feed into the stereotype, but then we know that international schools were more laid back on work. We are given a minimal duration of a week to complete any homework. And then I come into Singapore and it's it's due the next day, and it's not one question, it's a wad of papers, you know. It's I remember going to math class and she gave me a stack of worksheets and she was like, "Is this due tomorrow at 8:30 a.m.?" And I was like, "What?"
Wait, so you didn't have any specific very rigid deadlines?
In China, it's a week. The minimum we get now, because now we're in senior year, is 3 days.
Sorry, I forgot to add. Sorry, really quick. I forgot to add that Amanda's actually not studying in a local school, but an international school. I just want to emphasize that. So this would not apply to the general Chinese school. By this I mean everything. I don't mean the laid back culture. That is not what I mean.
Chinese high schools, like the local high schools, are not laid back at all. I know that for a fact because we had transfer students like a few months ago. Oh, they were like next level. Like they were sweaty.
Yeah.
When I say sweaty, they were like academically triple our rigor. Like triple our rigor. They came in and like they were like looking at university work. They're like, oh my god, that's so easy. You already know it's different.
Right. Then what about like when you came here? Do you feel the same? You know, like I don't know. No.
I don't know. It's maybe because like I was a new student. Like the teachers were like really friendly to me the first week. I know like other people had to do a lot of work, and because like I just came into your curriculum, like I didn't come in like the first day. I was like in the middle. Like it was like more laid back for me. When you guys had to do 3 worksheets, I only had to do 1 because the other 2 were irrelevant to me. You know?
Was it?
Yeah, especially in
I don't
English.
remember.
It was like I didn't even read the book. I think it was like
All right, Rule of Thunder.
Version of Venice or something, and I didn't even read it. And she's like,
Oh,
she's like,
I thought it was Rule of Thunder.
you don't have to do it. And I was literally just finding synonyms for words for like an entire week.
Before coming to Singapore, do you think that Singapore had a reputation of placing great emphasis on academics, and did it impact your decision to come to Singapore to study for a short bit?
I had no choice to study in a Singaporean local school at that time. It's because like international schools, and especially because my dad works on an expat, you know, like if we have to go, we have to go, you know. So I had to like try to fit in as soon as possible. But then when the opportunity presents itself to go back to an international school, you know, I would very quickly take that opportunity. Not saying that I don't love the people there, because I love the 2 friends I made in that period of time.
Chingwei is also here with us, and that's one of the friends.
That makes me sound so pathetic. Like I have like 2 friends. But like I also like in the local school, like your class has like at least 30 to 40 people, and like everyone is so smart. Like everyone is so rigorous. Except like there's like probably like 1 or 2 students that I find are like a great vibe, but there's always like the really really sweaty kids in the class. And like when scores come out, like there's ranks, and then like if you did really bad, the teacher will like pull you to do something called like remedia or something. Is it like after school tuition? Who does that, man? I was so
Chinese media, right? Why who goes for Chinese media, right?
Oh, ha.
And then like I remember because I literally kind of grew up in China, right? So like I'm naturally advantaged in like Chinese compared to most people in the class, and I still got pulled to do like Chinese remedia, and I was like, what? But like she wanted me to use like your standard like 成语 stuff.
Translator Jonathan here. So basically, 成语 translates into either idioms or proverbs.
Like you guys have like a book of 成语, and she gave me a task to memorize the first 30 pages in 2 days. I remember that so significantly, and I was like, nah, if I have to do this like every week for the next few years until I graduate, like I don't know how I'm gonna survive. Yeah.
That's why people, if you're failing Chinese, don't worry too much about it. Even someone who's been studying in China for so long is struggling as well.
Yeah.
In 2 days.
Yeah, the 250条成语.
Hey, it's me again. So, 250条成语 is basically a book containing more than enough idioms and proverbs than anyone should have to go through.
For 2 days? What teacher did you get?
No, you remember we had to like do
I
the
know, but
test
30
every week.
It was every week.
Yeah.
Did I fail it that badly that I just repressed all memories?
It's like a coping mechanism.
And it was like 听写.
Lastly, 听写 is basically Chinese spelling.
Like she would like 听写, and then like I remember there's a Chinese kid that sat next to me, and like he like flexed his Chinese on me because he's like Chinese.
Then what about from your certain friends that are already in Singapore, you know, the ones that you know? Did like any of the things they say like kind of scare you or like make you worry about coming here?
My friends in Singapore are always people that have already studied in international schools and come back. In my memory, there's like three. One went to an international school, and then two are in local school. My best friend in primary school now studies at, was it
United World College.
no, that's the other one. Is it Nanyang, the girls' school?
In JC.
Like the good one, the really like ranked #1 girls' school or something.
Sorry, what's number one?
It's like
Is
there's
it
Nanyang Girls High School.
Yeah, I think it's
Nanyang,
Nanyang.
Nanyang girls, yeah.
That combines with HCI, right, to become Hwa Chong Junior College.
I think so.
I have no
But-
idea.
Right.
I went back and she was also really really smart. But like in my opinion, we were at the same level in China. Like we skipped the grade together, so I was like, oh, we must be somewhere like similar. And she like dropped into the gifted class of the girls' school. So like that was kind of. I was like, if she can do it, like I can do it, right? And then I came to Singapore and I was like, wait, no, I can't do it. Yeah. But like what they said, they were like, oh, Singapore's really fun. I just sleep at 3 every day. I school at 6. I wake up to go to school at 5, and I was like, and you're okay. Like,
But don't you sleep at 3 anyways already?
no, I've been sleeping at 11 for the past week. I've been really proud of that. I pull all-nighters for the next 2 weeks.
No, but what about at that time when you're sleeping at really late timings as well?
I know you know that I have really poor memory, so I do not remember when I was sleeping, but probably after 11.
Probably.
Probably.
What do you think about just in school? Do you think there are any like differences in like the frequency of bullying between schools in Singapore, maybe like schools in China?
Bullying. Well, it's not very like prevalent in my school. Like my entire year group consists of the amount of people you have in one class. So we're all kind of like a community. There's like literally 32 people in my year group. So we're all like really really good friends. We don't really bully each other unless like it's for like jokes, you know. But
Pranks.
even if there's like 32 people, there's always gonna be a few people that do not pass the vibe check. Yeah. But then in Singapore, like there's more people. I can definitely see the probability of bullying going on, especially when there is drama. I'm not saying there is any, because I'm not that aware of it. At least I have 2 friends, I wouldn't know. But from my experience in like the entirely female friend group, I do know that like there are some like I don't want to like put a label on it, but like not very positive comments being passed around, which I don't really experience in international schools, especially the one that I go to. So I was like a little uncomfortable, but then I can't say anything because I don't know what they're talking about, because I don't know anybody. Again, I have 2 friends, so like possibility of it happening, I would probably stress over people not liking me more in Singapore than in like China. You know, yeah, that's my outlook on it.
Alright, so like you think it's partially because of like classroom structure, but do you think there might be something deeper, like maybe a difference in like school culture, so called? And like it will also be due to the fact that it's an international school, not like, you know, what's the word for? It's definitely not called a normal school. What sort of school is Diamond High called?
Government.
That's true.
I don't know what you're looking for.
I don't know. But do you think that there could be due to like stuff like that, like so-called school culture differences?
I mean, definitely local schools, especially like Dunman, I know is extremely competitive, which is not very like, it's not really a thing in an international school. We're only competitive when it comes to like gaming, sport, who has the better outfit for the day, but that's like literally all that we're competitive about. We don't actively compare our grades. Like, what if one of my friends got a D and I got like a B? I'd be like, oh, good job, good job. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, he's stupid, you know. But it's like kind of see that happening in Singapore. Like,
Sorry, I want to put in my 2 cents worth, like right here, and just say that I don't see that either.
But
Isn't it generally supportive anywhere you go? At least that's what I thought.
Dunman High is the more supportive school you could go to here.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. If you go others,
I know other local schools. Like, I have friends that like are struggling to like keep up with like the A grade, and I know that they're experiencing people looking down on them because of not achieving that A grade. So, which is not really like a thing in international schools. Like, we always like emphasize like learning is non-linear. That's literally our catchphrase. We say it every single day. Learning is non-linear. But then,
So you want to get notes from someone just like learning's not linear, then like
you know, my learning
that
could
kind.
still be like a very
Oh, that's what
decent.
you mean. I thought. Okay.
No, because like even if learning is linear, it's like C, B, and then you go A, right?
Right.
But like our learning is non-linear. It's like C, B, C, D, A, B, C. Yeah, that's acceptable. That's okay. If you're struggling, that's okay. We support you. But in Singapore, it's like, probably like competition. Like I know people actively compare their grades, like especially because people know I'm advantaged when it comes to Chinese. At least 5 people ask me every class what I got for Tingxue. At least 5 people. At least 5 people ask me about my score. Or like composition. I get asked like, can I read your essay? How many marks did you get? What Chengyus did you use? And I'm not used to that. I was like, oh. So what if I did really bad? They're gonna like talk bad about me, like, oh, she's from China, but she doesn't speak Chinese. That's what I would fear.
Sorry, I gotta defend my school a little bit now. I would say that we are competitive in the sense that we want to improve. However, I would also say that we have that kind of healthy culture of like healthy competition and like some kind of support from one another in terms of like helping out. So that's why you hear things like, can I see your 作文 to like read through it? Because like everyone is used to just learning from one another. Just my 2 cents worth.
Yeah.
Defend my school.
But then like being someone that's like, from a different type of learning culture, like no one really asks to read my essays. No one really cares what I get. And then like I come in, I get bombarded with questions, and I'm like, oh, I got this. Yeah. And then if I get like people get like A and they expect me to get like 100% because like I'm from China, and then I get like 80%, they're gonna be like,
no, but the whole comparing marks thing is very accurate, like to Singapore schools in general, from primary school. But I would say that it's not just because you want to improve. I think some people, they try to get part of it is because they feel assured when people ask them to see their papers. They're like, oh, that means that at least people are looking up to me. I'm doing a decent job, at least in other people's eyes, which I think can help a lot. But at the same time, it can also put a lot of stress, especially if you're one of those people keep approaching you. People expect you to keep meeting those standards, and after a while, it can really get to you.
I mean, I think it kind of depends on what kind of person you are. So some people I could see like if they are really like if they feel the pressure from the expectations, that would probably get to them. Like those people who are say like always consistently score very good one. But then if you were like say like you are one of those who are slightly more insecure, then like to be able to have that reassurance from other people, I'm sure that will like help to bolster a bit more confidence.
Yeah. But there are also like people I know that I'm gonna say person C knows for a fact that they did better than me in a certain test, and they would still come and ask for my result. And like I also know their result where they're like, oh my god, I did so bad. Oh no, what am I gonna do? And then they see my result. And then I'm like, oh, I got a little lower than you. And you'd be like, oh my god, that's so good. Don't worry about it. Oh, okay, thanks, man. Yeah,
I don't know, man. That sounds like courtesy to me.
yeah, but it's kind of common though. At least from what I've
Hmm.
experienced.
But like when you were here, seeing everyone asking you for like your results and everything, right? You have some kind of pressure from the expectation.
Yeah, because okay, person D was another international school student, and I remember everyone in the class regarding him as like some academic genius. And I'm also from an international school, and I was like, I am no way comparable to this person's IQ. And then the pressure gets to me, you know. And I'm like, oh wow, he solved this question in 30 seconds. Why am I taking 3 minutes? Yeah, that the pressure was there. It was especially when there's someone that came from like the exact same circumstance as you. And like I know what school he came from because I've been to that school. I've played that school. And I'm like, oh, oh, am I supposed to live up to his standards? And everyone called him like an academic genius. And then they found out that I was from an international school as well. Automatically, they think that I'm some sort of equivalent to this academic god, you know. And I was like, no,
Right.
I'm yeah, pressure gets there. Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say this. Going a little bit off topic.
What?
Yeah.
A little bit, just a tiny bit. Like, off topic as in terms of going towards the purpose of the whole thing. Okay, anyways. So on that note, right, you said that you couldn't keep up with student D. So what about like besides student D, what about the general populace? Do you feel like you couldn't keep up? Or like you couldn't keep up as well as in China?
China international schools until like this past 2 years because I started IB last year. Before that, school was a breeze. Like it was underappreciated. I had so much fun. I had so much free time. But then I remember going back in summer, and the first thing I do when I get back is like do math homework, do English homework, do science, some lab report, and then like go to bed at like definitely over 11. In China, I could sleep at 10. I could literally sleep at 10 and like have at least 3 hours of free time before that, you know. And then up in Singapore is also a really, really big issue. You remember, like, when am I ever on time for the MRT? Like, I'm never on MRT.
Oh, you never made it late, so.
I was like 3 minutes like before the gate closed. I remember this one time. I had to bamboozle the guard saying I was a new student. He's like, hey, I'm like, I don't know this place. I had to put on like the accent. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, it's what it is. I couldn't keep up. Like, I could when I was really motivated for like the first 3 days. And after that, it's like slowly like spiral down because like I didn't want to do English, math, Chinese, science on loop every single day. Like I wanted to lay in bed, take a nap. I wanted to play Minecraft. I wanted to watch Netflix. I didn't want to be doing homework, the same like repetitive subjects every single day. Whereas in China, like I can do English on Monday, do math on Tuesday, do science on Wednesday, and I'd have like 3 hours a day to watch Netflix, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like in addition to giving a bit more anxiety, it's also like
Yeah.
become a bit more of a monotonous kind of lifestyle, very drowning.
Yeah, not only drowning, but like it's life becomes really predictable. Like I literally know what I'm gonna be doing the next day. Whereas like in China, I remember before IB, I would think like, what do I want to do today? Do I want to bake pie? Do I want to play volleyball? Do I want to watch anime? You know, like that was like what's going on in my head. Do I want to eat this for dinner? Should I meet this friend? Like, but then in Singapore, it's like, oh no, I need to do math, English, Chinese today, and it's due tomorrow in the morning. Like it becomes.
Do you mean monotonous?
Hmm?
Do you mean monotonous instead of predictable?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Know what's gonna come. Like I know this teacher is gonna give me another wad of papers the next day.
Oh.
Yeah, it's predictable. Okay, like it's also like kind of like monotone. Like life was kind of monotone. Like when I was in Singapore, I didn't watch a single TV series, and that is never before happened to Amanda. You know?
It must have been really
Okay.
bad. You refer to yourself as a third person.
Okay, but like with all these like issues, like sources of anxiety and stuff, right? We actually do have some places that people can go to when it gets too much. Like we actually have if I'm not wrong, every secondary school has. Am I correct to say that every secondary school has at least one counselor?
I'm not sure. I think government schools have, but I don't know about independent. I don't know about independent.
Yeah, but like government schools, if I'm not wrong, everyone has at least like one counselor who comes by quite frequently. So like there's some kind of support system in case like it gets overwhelming for some people. So like I just wanna ask, is there anything similar for like overseas?
Counselors, because we're an international school, like we are automatically assumed to be applying to uni overseas. So we already have counselors, like at least 2 in our school, specific to help us to apply to universities. Because especially like American unis, like they require a recommendation for your counselor. So there's like automatically like a therapist in school, like every single day. They don't come and go. It's there every day. There's a counselor office, like a counselor corridor in my school. Yeah.
Sorry, these counselors are what, education and career guidance?
Yeah, they do education, career guidance. They do like mental health. He's also my volleyball coach.
Wait, so he's a teacher?
No, he's a counselor. Like he's specifically a counselor.
And your coach?
No, cause like, you know, international school, it's like kind of hard to like get staff. But like he's somehow like university level volleyball, so he like coaches us as well. Yeah, he's I love him. He's a great guy. But other than that, like, I think last week our school had something called a mental health day, and then we like had stop the stigma thing, and it was like an entire day dedicated to learning about mental health and like doing like stress relieving activities. And that's a thing, like we have to do kind of like relieving activities every morning. Like we have like yoga Wednesday where we have to do yoga in tutor time in the morning. And by the way, our school starts at 8:30 for us. Yeah. We have a gym in school that's open to us whenever we want to. But like we have a PSHE session. I don't know if you guys have that. I already forgot. But
PSHE what?
PSHE is like physical, social, health, education, something like that.
Sorry,
And
I'm
that
lost.
session, it's like we just learn about mental health, how to like plan our time efficiently, how to avoid getting anxiety, depression, stuff like that. Sometimes we do like coloring, you know, we like talk to friends, we socialize. Like our school puts a lot of emphasis on being mentally healthy. Yeah, and it's good. It's good.
I think our Singaporean system can learn from that a little bit.
Definitely. It's very different.
Like right now, yeah. You have like so many programs, but then it's just like an hour of CCA, like at most maybe every 2 hours every week, maybe at most.
But it's not
Yeah,
just
that's
that.
about it.
Like, cause your school was you said clearing out the stigma, right? And fully dedicated to it. At least for Diamond High, right? It's very how I say, it's quite ironic. Cause you have like lessons. Then at the end of the day, you have like something called this 1 hour where they dedicate to something that's like so-called non-curricular, and then that's the time that they use to talk about various subjects, like sometimes occasionally mental health. It's just like a 1 hour tiny slot in the day, and after they go okay, I'll go back. Math is due tomorrow, by the way.
For us, like, because I know like students, really high school students, like seniors and juniors, sophomores, they have like exam stress, especially when there's like exam week, you know, like when exams are like paced out across the entire week. I don't know if you guys have that, but that used to be a thing last year. But now mental health is like being more paid attention to in our school, at least. we're only allowed to have a maximum of 3 exams a week now, and if it's more than that, we can file a complaint. Is that a thing for you guys?
I wish, man. We had like
Yeah.
what EL and math on the same day.
Yeah.
We also have chemistry and bio together.
Right.
Students have physics and chemistry. Bio students have bio and chemistry on the same day. But then we filed a complaint, so we got chemistry moved to Thursday, so we have to get.
Bro, our teacher, when we confronted, he just said, "Oh, sorry." Haha.
What's funny is that our chemistry teacher is like from a local Chinese school. Like this is her first time in an international system. So like when we asked her to change the date before confronting like our IB coordinator, she said no. You know, she's like, why should I? Like this is your problem. But like the school system did its thing and it got rescheduled to Thursday.
I guess a big like cause of the difference between your school and like Singapore schools in general is I don't know. You can feel free to disagree with me, but like I think a big cause is because Singapore has like a lot of emphasis on like the education, like the academic education part of education. So like we try to jam pack our timetables with lesson times rather than like all these other programs.
Like I know our school we pay attention to like our motto is literally like educating the whole child. So like they
Like a
make
holistic education.
yeah, we make sure we have like a balance of everything. Yeah. Like
Right.
we don't take art, we're forced to like paint a picture every couple of days.
Like what art?
Be creative. Like
Isn't it just art class?
some people we only have 1 hour of PE a week, physical education, like sports. That's built into like our curriculum. If you do team sports then like that's after school. But like they literally made us do compulsory yoga every Wednesday. Yoga and meditation, you know. And then we have something called Thankful Thursdays, where we have to list 3 things we're thankful for every single morning. So I don't
Yeah, that sounds
remember
pretty healthy.
Singapore. I'll say it's like the most helpful thing because like we have other things to do that we want to prioritize. Maybe because like we kind of take it for granted, like we kind of don't want to do it every single week. But I mean, if you're like really stressed, you know, it could be something people want to have.
Do you think like being able to arrange all these like programs and stuff, it's just might be due to the difference in the courses? Like for example, at least in Singapore lah, usually for secondary school it's like 4 years ago, no like closer to 3.5 years to do O levels. Then what about your school? Like what's your course like?
So we are separated into years. Our year is your grade plus 1. Right now, the last 2 years, so year 12 and year 13, we do an IB curriculum. So it's the same as yours, but we have 6 compulsory subjects that we must take. That is spread across many different subject areas. So I literally have to do humanities. I have to do English. I have to take a second language, which is ridiculous, but yes. Before that, we have IGCSE, which was 11 different subjects across many different areas. I had to take computer science, and I had to have an exam on programming. Yeah, but then before that, it was like based on the Cambridge curriculum. It was like kind of like we just did everything.
Right, then since we already talked about like all these different sources, like for say sources as well as like sinks for like stress and stuff in schools, do you wish that Singapore had any part that did slightly better, like the most important part that you feel could have been improved and like learn from your school?
Wait, isn't like what I think DHS should like take from my school, or like what I
Well,
think my school should take from your school?
like how do you think we can improve?
You,
It doesn't even have to be Dunman High, it can be like the whole Singapore also.
definitely like the amount of work they give students.
Like the homework.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to sound like mean or like whatever, but like it is a ridiculous amount of work. Like my bag is double the weight it is in Singapore than it is in China. And that says a lot. It really says a lot. But like it's like the pressure, and then you have to like study outside of the homework because you can't just do the homework, right? You have to like revisit knowledge that you've learned before to study for an exam. And I'm like thinking about balancing all of that. It's
Right.
kind of hard to have like an emotional breakdown or like acne breakouts. Like um workload is like a big thing. Even if you want to give that big of a workload, at least have some sort of time span where you can like do the work. Because I remember in my memory, it was like 1 day, 2 days max, never 3 days, never a week. You know, like at least give me, yeah. And then school, like the remedial sessions, I think is actually useful. But then like, hmm, you know, like maybe like consult the students want to do it. You know, just like I also need to take a break. You know, I don't really want to be studying all the time. Like I remember having to do Chinese homework on the metro to home because like I knew if I went home I wouldn't be able to finish it because I have math, science, English, you know. Like and like school ended. Oh yeah, your timetable I think is really funky. I remember once having 2 hours of Chinese in a row and then like 1 hour 30 minutes of English straight after. Like that's that's kind of hard, man.
Dear timetable committee, if you're listening to this, I just want to say, yeah, agreed. Please don't take this too hard.
For your own knowledge, our classes never last more than 1 hour.
What?
Right?
And like every 2 hours we have a break.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, but like
then
45 minutes is how long it takes for me to like stop daydreaming.
another difference probably is like I remember in Singapore like the teachers come to you, right? Like you stay in the classroom.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Like I walked, I barely walked. Like I remember coming back from Singapore, all of my like step counts came from walking to the MRT. Walking the Sky Bridge to the MRT. And then but then like in China, like I go to the classes. I get at least 8,000 steps easy on campus. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just our school only, I think. Because I think
I
other schools can have different
Yeah,
structures.
every single lesson, I have pins and needles in my legs. Yeah. I don't know how
Right.
people can for that long. I know I would get anxiety at the end.
I think this might just be because like I think it's just a Singaporean school thing. Like honestly, like at least this all I hear people like at least in America lah. They usually also usually switch classrooms. They don't stay in one place. I also don't know why.
Like my primary school, we also had to go to classes.
Oh really? Is it?
Yeah. Then like in Damaha, I was like, oh, no need to, you know.
But I like
Respect.
moving. Like after class, you know, you can like leave. Like I feel like moody staying in the same place all the time. Like I just had like a English class and like I don't want to stay in the same place to do math. You know, like I want to leave.
No, but you can like stand up and walk around. So.
Yeah, but like you stand up, you walk around, and like 2 minutes later, the teacher's here. Like,
Yeah. lah.
so, like I don't really
Right.
see it. I like moving around. It's good. You know, you get fresh air while you're at it as well.
Fresh air. Haha.
But I thought Daman was like open.
Breathes in construction.
Huh? What?
Really?
Yeah, what? Around the okay, not say like you can smell it, but you know it's there because of the
Oh.
nearby construction work. Okay. Do you have any like epiphanies or things you are thankful for when you went back to China?
Definitely like the much more easier work-life balance. Definitely 100%. Convenience in China, like even though Singapore is like not like the largest country ever, like I wouldn't say it's very convenient. China,
Mhm.
everything's like on. You have a phone and you can go anywhere, you know. And it's like we have buses to bring us to school. I don't have to walk to the metro. I remember your school has like crazy mad stairs, and they're like so small and they're like so long. I remember walking up and I'd be like drained in sweat. Like it doesn't contribute greatly to my mental health in any way, shape, or form. I just feel bad after climbing the stairs. Like I would be dripping. I remember. I mean, like the people, like I'm much more familiar with, I guess. And then like the array of activities I get to do in China is like triple the stuff I can do in Singapore. You know. I remember in PE we did like frisbee and we just threw frisbees for like I don't know for however long I was there. But then in China it's like, oh, today I feel like playing volleyball. Today I don't feel very great. Let's do yoga instead. Like we have free reign over what we want to do in our PE classes. We don't have to technically like, because I remember in Singapore was a lot of like skill development. How do you throw a frisbee so that it goes 3 kilometers per hour? But then in China it's like, oh, you don't feel great. Okay, you can sit this one out. You want to do some meditation at the side, or like I feel like I want to be really sweaty in badminton today. Let me go wreck some shuttlecocks. Like that's our dynamic in China, and I think that's like much much more underappreciated. Other than that, timetabling, man. Like even though I love the recesses, your recesses are so long. The food in Singapore, oh great, love that. International school food.
I thought I got steak.
You don't get steak. What kind of?
I have a memory of you once saying that you got steak.
If it's steak, it probably costed a lot of money. Okay, because I remember I got 5 Sing dollars to lunch, and that was more than enough. I could get a drink, I could get snacks, I could get lunch. But then in China, you can't get any food for 5 Sing dollars. At least not in my school. You can in China, but you can't in my school. It is a minimum.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's a minimum of $8 for a meal. No drinks, just food. Yeah. In China, that's the biggest thing that contributes to my anxiety. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Just to summarize, it's basically like your school seems a lot more how I say liberal in the sense it's not more freedom. Yeah, but how I say, is this just because you're in an international school? Like, are there any like distinct differences between your school and like government schools in China, like in general?
Oh, I know in local schools it's very very similar to Singaporean high schools. If not, I would say even stricter. There's like we have like military practice every single morning. I can hear because we're in partnership with the local high school in our area, and like we can hear the military like horns in the background like every morning at like 8 a.m. But then as well as like the entire like learning ethic. I remember in Singapore and in China, like they have a habit of like greeting your teachers, but we just like, hey, what's up, Mrs. X? Hey, what's up, Mr. B? Like that's our dynamic in school. But I remember like having an exchange in a Chinese high school, and like everything is like really like standardized. Like there is a certain way to do every single thing, and I know work is set in a very certain way. There's like a way classes are conducted. On Mondays, person A, D, and F are definitely going to be asked, and on Tuesdays, person G, X, and E are going to be asked.
Now, due to time constraints, we're going to have to wrap things up quite abruptly here, so sorry about that. Before we conclude this podcast episode, do keep in mind that the hosts here are talking from a perspective of students from a government school in Singapore, so we do not represent the entirety of the student body in Singapore.
And our guest Amanda
is from an international school in China, so she also does not represent the entire student body population in China. So take everything you heard here with some salt. Thank you for tuning into our podcast. Hope you enjoyed your stay here. Remember to catch our next episode where we continue talking about your state of mind. See you there.